Welcome to Expert Viewpoints Program Manager Career Paths. In this video, experts share their career path to becoming a program manager and provide tips for becoming successful.
I started out as a software developer, and as I get into software development, there's obviously a lot of management that takes place when you're developing a software package. And I started doing some of that program management work just because there was a need. I saw a need and I filled it. Part of what helped me as a program manager to become a program manager is that I had some of the raw skills. They needed to be refined, but I had some of the raw skills, and I was able to recognize that, and then I was able to help other people recognize that. So things like critical thinking, looking at schedules and being able to manage schedules, being good with people, all of those are skills that you need as a program manager.
I started actually in technical support, and that was really critical for me in developing my analytical muscle and analyzing what's wrong. And so those are some critical things that transferable skills that I was able to develop during my technical support years and then take forward as I moved on. So after technical support, I'd always loved writing. I went into training. And so I wanted to write training material and then also be a trainer. And so that was the next part of my career. And I was really able to hone the writing and also the communication. And so that really, in retrospect, has been critical in my role as a project manager and my desire to meet the client where they are, my desire to understand them and really provide them the service, the personal service that I feel that the client needs, as well as the project or the program experience.
I began my project management career as a project coordinator in the United States Air Force. And as a project coordinator, I tried to get involved as much as possible and tried to learn as much as I can. Soon, the Air Force gave me the opportunity to become a project manager. As I gained experience, I became a more senior project manager and was given more important, higher priority projects as well. Microsoft Corporation hired me on as an independent consultant to do some very, very complex projects. Microsoft gave me the opportunity to manage some very high priority, very sensitive programs as well. So I became a program manager for the first time as a consultant in Microsoft Corporation.
I started out as a project manager, and I was more completing smaller tasks as entry-level project management. I got a hold of bigger projects and more complex projects, and then learned more about Agile, actually, and that really made me want to get further into managing projects in an Agile way. And then I got into program management.
I became a certified project manager 27 years ago when I was working for a company who wanted to make a replacement to a large IT system. I worked with a program manager from one of the large consulting companies, and I realised that I wanted to operate at that level and do the role of program manager in the future. I moved from that company to another company who worked with one of the largest IT companies in the world, and I started there as a project manager, but soon moved into program management when we developed a worldwide learning program for technical staff and IT consultants. I have been an independent consultant for 11 years now, and I switch between project management and program management depending on my customers' needs.
What tips can you provide to become a successful program manager?
Tips to becoming a successful program manager at this time in the world, I would say, do revolve around pursuing certifications. So over the years, the language of program management, the language of project management, while some things have stayed the same, others have changed drastically. So get in early on that piece. And then I think also really it goes with networking, but it's building relationships. How do you build trusted relationships with other people? How do you continue to build confidence that other people's confidence in you? And so really work on your interpersonal skills and your ability to put yourself in other people's shoes, your empathy. Balance it with staying focused, staying tough when you need to be tough.
So the best program managers that I've worked with have been pleasant people. They're encouraging. They listen. They listen very well. They hear you when you're speaking to them. When you need to voice complaints or you're frustrated, they are able to listen. But they, on the opposite side, they're also very direct. If I need to deliver something, they come to me and they say, you need to have it done by this date. And if you can't have it done by this date, we need to talk about when you can have it done without being wishy-washy. That skill is very, very important. And then on the other side, being very logical about problems, about schedule, about deliverables. So if someone asks you to do something and it doesn't fit in the schedule, you need to understand that as a program manager. The tip here is think through what the ask is and think through how you as a program manager can accommodate that in the schedule.
There are two main tips that I can provide to becoming a successful program manager. Watch and listen is the first tip. You can learn so much from the people around you, as particularly people who are in the role that you aspire to do yourself. It is a cliche that you can only learn from mistakes, but by observing the way people deal with challenges, you can learn to negotiate and communicate and overcome those challenges yourself. The second tip I can give you is to keep your knowledge current. Continue to learn as you grow. Negotiating skills, communicating skills, managing stakeholders, all of these skills you can learn more about on a day-to-day basis or by attending different courses, and that knowledge will always be valuable in your role.
The tips that I would suggest to be a successful program manager is communication and upfront communication, honest communication, proactive communication. And sometimes you have to communicate the value of the program a lot. You have to continuously remind people why we're doing what we're doing, what exactly we're doing, making sure that you're, again, managing those expectations and communicating.